Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, Kaya, Andrews, Andre, ministers, it is an honor to be with you today at the European Defence Agency annual conference. Cyprus assumes the presidency of the Council of the European Union at a moment when uncertainty is no longer an exception. It was become the defining future of our time. Today, our conversations are shaped by resilience, capabilities, scale, investment, and protection. These are not fashionable words. They are warning signs. They tell us one simple truth. If we do not act decisively, our ability to shape outcomes will be limited, and our citizens will feel the consequences. That is why this conference matters, not for reflection, for delivery. And this is precisely wherein the Europe Defence Agency plays a central role. Dear Andre, the EDA proved that European defence cooperation is not an abstract concept. It is a capability. You have been instrumental in translating cooperation into practice, helping member states develop joint solutions and ahead capabilities. But today, cooperation must move even faster. Capabilities must be ready to deploy quickly and at scale, not only to distance theatre, but also to protect what sustain our society's energy networks, transport, corridors, digital systems, and critical infrastructure. During our presidency, Cyprus will actively support and reinforce your work. In doing so, we must collectively ensure effective cooperation between the EU institutions and member states in line with the strategic direction set by the European Council. This requires ambition, but above all a clear focus on delivery through faster decision-making and timely delivery of capabilities to member states. Europe needs this support, and it needs it now. The Cyprus presidency will build on the strong cooperation of the previous presidency, and I want to thank Denmark and Poland as part of the trio for their excellent collaboration. So, why do these issues matter so much for the presidency? Because Europe's security environment is transforming profoundly and rapidly. Hybrid threats target our infrastructure. Cyber and information operations blur the line between peace and conflict. Space and data and digital systems are now central to deterrence, and instability in our wider neighbourhood affects Europe directly. Dear participants, Cyprus stands at the crossroads of Europe, the Middle East, and Africa. What happens around and does not stay around us. Cyprus now, in a very concrete way, what sovereignty and territorial integrity mean. As a new member state with part of this territory under illegal occupation, we stand firmly for the international law and full solidarity with Ukraine. Ukraine has shown that resistance is possible, but courage alone is not enough. Courage must be matched with the predictable, sustainable and credible support. This brings me to simple but essential truth. Plans do not dictate, capabilities do. The coming decade will be decisive. It will not be remembered as a decade of strategies. I will remember as a decade of deployment. This is the spirit that guides our presidency. Our political compass is clear: an autonomous union, open to the world. Autonomy and openness are not opposites. They are conditions for security. Europe must be able to leader, protect and act while remaining firmly committed to international law, partnerships and multilateral cooperation. Jean Monnet once reminded us that nothing is possible without people. Nothing is lasting without institutions. Our responsibility, therefore, is to ensure that Europe's defence institutions deliver lasting security for our people. With this in mind, the Cyprus Presidency will focus on 4 clear priorities. We will continue to support and sustain the Union's assistance to Ukraine. Second, implementation of the European Defence Industry Programme, including the development of a European defence project of common interest to strengthen industrial readiness, innovation and collaborative capability development across Member States. Third, maritime security with a focus on protecting critical maritime infrastructure and sea lines of communications. Fourth, strengthening the Union's preparedness, the capacity to support humanitarian operations, including non-combatant evacuation operations in an increasingly unstable security environment. These priorities are not abstract. They are respond to real gaps and deliver clear European added value. Europe has already taken historic decisions. Budgets are rising, innovation is accelerating, new instruments including SAFE and the broader defence readiness agenda create appreciated opportunities, but frameworks alone do not defend Europe. What defends Europe capabilities that reach the field interoperable, sustainable and available when needed. We also need to cross the valley between invention and deployment and to ensure that Europe's talent, skills and know-how stay in Europe. This requires a new delivery culture, a culture where governments, industry, SMEs, researchers and armed forces move together with shared standards, principles, furnishing a shared responsibility. During our presidency, implementation will be guiding principle. Our shared objective is clear: defence readiness by 2030. This means accelerating production, strengthening supply chain, and ensuring that investment results deployable capabilities. It also means programs on military mobility. Forces cannot move, Europe cannot defend itself. And it means advancing the defence omnibus. Simplification is not direct education is essential for readiness. When procedures become obstacles to implementation, delivery shows and readiness is weakened. As Council Presidency, Cyprus will work to build consensus and advance shared priorities across the Union. We will make a particular effort to support a strengthened role for the European Defence Agency. The agency is essential for scaling cooperation, setting standards and turning ambition into capability. During our presidency, we will host key initiatives with the EDA, including high-level defence conference and events to advance sustainable energy in defence and security, combined with a technology exhibition on dual-use solutions. We will also publish a presidency defence book, looking ahead to a more coherent European defence architecture. Maritime security will be one of our flagship priorities, security at sea in security at home. Cyprus will facilitate discussions on a possible EU maritime readiness and resilience programme focused on moving from strategy to deployment. This means better maritime awareness, stronger protection of undersea infrastructure and more effective responses to hybrid threats at sea. To advance these priorities, we will present a non-paper and host a high-level maritime security conference during our presidency. We will also strengthen preparedness for humanitarian operations and evacuations. In time of crisis, the Union's ability to protect civilians and bring its citizens home is not optional. It is a responsibility. Cyprus brings long experience in this field, and we stand ready to place it at the service of the Union. Support for Ukraine will remain central. Any solutions must be just, sustainable and fully respect Ukraine's sovereignty and territorial integrity. Europe must speak with one voice. Let me conclude. This is Europe's decade of delivery. Cooperation is no longer a choice, it is a necessity. During our presidency, Cyprus will work with all of you, Member States, EU institutions, NDA industries, researchers and partners with humility, determination and clarity of purpose. If we succeed, ambition becomes capability. If we delay, ambition remains words. And dear friends, Europe cannot afford delay. Thank you.